And it says here Gerald Neal supports Planned Parenthood. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's supported by the Pro-Abortion Women's Political Caucus and the Homosexual Political Action Committee and the United Auto Workers. There's a lot of information on these ballots. You'll get them in just a minute. Okay, let's see. Our next speaker is Lauren Ogden, and she's running for Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk, Family Court Clerk.
Hard act to follow. I want to vote for Shanita. I wish I could. I am Lauren Adams Ogden. I've got a few little cards up here. I'll make sure anybody that needs one gets one. I'm actually running for a countywide race, so anyone in here that lives in Jefferson County would be able to vote in the 2 judicial races that are on your ballot November 8th. One of them is a family court judge race, and the other one is a district court race. I'm running in the family court race. There's 2 of us on the ballot. It is a nonpartisan race, which can be a little confusing because we're not running as Republicans or as Democrats, trying to keep politics out of family court. So I am endorsed by this organization and by Right to Life. So I'm very honored to have that as a resume builder. And I'm pleased to see so many familiar faces out here. I just really feel like this is a warm group and so passionate. I always feel inspired when I leave these meetings and definitely feel better informed. So again, I am Lauren Ogden. I'm a wife for life. I'm a mother to a teenage daughter. My opponent is actually not a mom, and I just feel like those of us that are parents, everything changes when you become a mom or a dad. And it just changes your whole perspective. And so when you have someone on the bench for the next 6 years, making decisions for Jefferson County families, I hope you'll give that one part of my resume strong consideration. I have been a private attorney for 15 years, and pretty much every day I've been practicing family law during that time. So my opponent has not been in family court in recent years. So if you want the person who's best informed as to the law as it currently stands in family court, I would be your candidate as well. I'm not born and raised from Louisville, but I got here as fast as I could. And it is literally the best city that I've ever called home. So I feel like every step that I've taken along the way in my path has led me here to serve you all and hopefully serve you from the bench after November 8th. So remember Ogden for judge. I've got a Facebook page and love to hear from anyone with questions or concerns about family court. I'll hang around and look forward to hearing everyone else speak. Thank you.
Now, our next speaker is Sarah Provincher.
That's right.
And she's running for state representative in the 31st District. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for coming out to this event. This really is a great opportunity to, as it's called, meet the candidates, which is so important. The 31st District is right where we're sitting. It is the J-Town and Hikes Point areas, and I live about a half mile down the road on the right in the Avondale neighborhood. I'm a proud Hikes Point resident. You'll probably see some of my signs out here along the Simon property. They've been so kind and gracious to support me along the way. I am actually running for the seat that Nick Simon ran for in the past. You all may have known Nick. He ran twice for this seat, and I'm very happy to carry on his legacy. And his 20-year-old son, Nick Simon Jr., has been out there burning the shoe leather with me as well, which is really fantastic. Yeah, it really is. It's a great testament to a great family. So I am Sarah Provincher. I'm a small business owner here in Louisville. I've lived here for 12 years like Lauren. Didn't grow up here, but got here as fast as I can. I love that quote. I have a marketing and public relations business in downtown Louisville. I have about 5 employees that work with me. And the reason that I really decided to run for this office is, one, we've had the same state representative for 24 years, Steve Riggs, and I feel like his time was up about 22 years ago. So I am definitely a supporter of term limits. I don't want to hold this office for 24 years. I'll tell you that right now. So when I learned that, I started looking into his background and his record, and I do feel like as a business owner in Kentucky, it gets harder and harder to create jobs, and there's so many taxes, there's so many regulations. My office was just painted recently, and I was taxed on the paint that went on the wall, which that is a big reason why I'm running for office, because as a small business, and most 80% of our jobs are created by small businesses. There's too many regulations in Kentucky that make it very difficult to do business. I've been a long time community volunteer. I'm on the Habitat for Humanity board. I've enjoyed doing that. I've worked with the Parks Foundation, so I feel like this is really the next step for me in terms of leading Kentucky and helping the Republican Party get to where we need to be. You probably all know in this room that we only need the House in the state of Kentucky only needs to win 4 seats. This needs to flip 4 seats this year to be a Republican-controlled House, and it's been 96 years since that has happened. So it's about time. I'm very impressed with what Governor Bevin is doing. I just was at he is someone who is not afraid to stand up and to make change, and I really appreciate that. I was just at an event previously with him this evening, and he said, I'm doing this because I want to make this a state where businesses come instead of going to Indiana and Tennessee, and I absolutely believe that. So I'm looking forward to working with him and supporting him and what he's doing for Kentucky and working with the other candidates in the House. So again, I'm Sarah Provincher. I'm running here in this 31st District, J-Town and Hikes Point, and I appreciate all of your support and appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
It says here that Steve Riggs refused to vote to defund Planned Parenthood.
Good evening. Thanks for the invitation. Been a principal for about 34 years. Any J-Town Eastern graduates in here? All right, bring it on. Bring it on. I know a little bit about schools and school business. I've actually been in education 46 years, and I'm retired. I'm tired of paying property taxes. I'm tired of paying personal taxes that keep increasing. I'm the only candidate for school board that will promise you that I will always vote no on proposed tax increases. They're coming, folks. They're coming. And no one's on there that will vote no. Everyone's paid for on the board. There may be some changes coming. And if I'm elected, I'll always vote no. And I will work to lower the taxes. My platform is very simple. Our schools are not safe. I want police and nurses or nurse practitioners in the schools. Our kids need to be watched after a little closer than they are. I believe that all students should be allowed to go to their neighborhood school. Some may choose to go to a magnet school, and that's fine. But if you want to go to your nearest school, elementary especially, third graders, first, second, and third, bust, no way. That really is a hard thing for parents to accept. And many of them do not accept it. And that's why the parochial and private school system is so large in Jefferson County, Louisville area. Because the parents just will not put their little bitty kids on those buses for a 45-minute ride. And it's just not right. I believe we need vocational schools reinstituted. I don't know who ever dreamed up to cut them out. I was leaving as they were deciding that big issue that everyone needed to go to college. Well, that hasn't really worked out too well because 20% of the students that come out of Jefferson County schools are not college ready. Of the graduates, 80% of those. So we're in trouble on our education. We don't have enough support for classroom teacher. Most of our money right now, if you try to find a parking place at Van Hoos or any of the centers for administration, you won't find a parking place. We're overloaded with people helping the teachers teach. We need to get the money back in the classroom. We need to lower the teacher ratio. And to do that, we've got to sort of cut the fat at the top. We got too many people helping teachers teach. We're overloaded, folks. Very simple platform. Safe schools, vocational schools, neighborhood schools, lower taxes. Now listen to an old principle. We don't die. Vote for Sexton. Thank you for your recommendation.
Okay, the thing is, this is an important election. Clinton is in favor of abortion on demand, and so is the whole Democrat Party. They want to repeal Obamacare. No, they don't want to repeal. Federal tax increases, Clinton says yes. Same-sex marriages, Clinton says yes. Second Amendment right to own a weapon, she says no. She wants to take away the right to own a weapon.
Folks, I'm really not prepared to speak, and I don't want to take away time from the candidates are here. I don't want to take away from them.
No, they've all spoken.
I just wanted to share with you, as a police officer, I love my community. We all do as police officers. For what's happening in our nation right now and how they're portraying us as not caring, whether it's being racist or thugs or whatever. I just want to reach out to you folks and let you know we love the citizens of our community, and we're being portrayed as the bad guys right now. I loved the representative that was up here from the West End. I started out in the West End, and I saw all these horrors, and they've been going on for 34 years of my career, and way before I come along, and it'll continue way after. Politicians don't become concerned about the folks in the West End until there's an election. And it's disturbing. And me as a police officer just happens to be white. We don't look at ourselves as a race amongst our brothers. We're all brothers that are trying to help. And we've got politicians now. I worked with Chief Conrad when he was a sergeant years ago. I know how he operated on the streets. I mentioned to you that he recently publicly endorsed Hillary Clinton while he was on one of his walks with the community in the West End that came about 3 years late in his term, but it's an election. And for an officer to publicly endorse a politician, that's a no-no. We can't do that. I can speak now because I'm out of uniform and I'm not calling on the department I work for. But why can the chief do that and I can't? Okay? But we love you folks, and don't listen to that stuff about police officers and our military as well. I'm a veteran as well. And once they destroy our military and our police, we're a third world country. Thank you.